Well. Look who it is. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Welcome. It's so quiet. Let's get some music playing. Whoa. I'm not ready for that yet. Let's put on some more fanciful fantasy music. Yeah. Okay. This'll work. Well, so we're going to do something a little different this morning, in the beginning at least. Get my power glove on. I got some initial sketches from Greg. And Greg is the guy that I've worked with. He's a friend of mine that I've worked with that I used to work with a lot. You know, this is more than a decade ago when I was an illustrator. And he's the guy that Greg is the guy that did the pencils and court cards for Mistborn. And I'll post his website up here if you want to check it out. Really good stuff. But anyways, Greg has sent me some initial sketches of Frodo from Lord of the Rings. And I kind of gave, doing the Alice in Wonderland court cards in a way that are like a full card where it's one way. I'm really enjoying how they are turning out. And, I just wanted to test it out. And having Greg draw it and sketch some stuff out is an easy way for me to test stuff out and me not have to waste any time, drawing. And it's not necessarily wasting time, but the reality is Greg is that's his job. His job is to do pencil artist. He used to be a comic book artist, that kind of thing. So he can work through a composition and a form real quick. And on top of that, because I'm planning to release all 3 decks at the same time, all in one Kickstarter, I'm going to need help just because it's a mountain of work, because it's like 14 drawings per deck, and it's 3 decks. So, but anyways, I'm just going to take the sketches that he put together, and I'm just going to I'm going to put my notes on them to how I want them a little bit different, because they're pretty close to what I want, but there's a few things that I want to change. And so, yeah. So let's get to it. So I have 4 pencil drawings that he did. So this is the first one. Some of the things that I kind of directed Greg is I said, I wanted Frodo looking through the ring. But one of the things that I told Greg is, I want to try to create more of a story. More of a story in the sense that, when you're doing a traditional playing card, and you have it where it's mirrored on both sides. And I was seeing this when I was doing the original Lord of the Rings. I wanted to put so much detail. When I say detail, I mean like details from the story. So like, for instance, like I was doing the Boromir card, and I wanted to put the, Boromir's sword and Boromir's horn in there. And it just was ending up being, it's just too crammed from what I wanted. And for some reason, doing the full cards where you're basically illustrating from a book is what was really what I was liking. And so that's kind of what the direction that we went. I kind of said, listen, Greg, I want to try to tell a story, and I want you to, when you're thinking about drawing these pictures, I don't want you to think about illustrating a playing card. I want you to think about like as if you were hired to illustrate the book itself. And then I was like, then we'll put it into the playing card form. So some of the things that where this I think these drawings are great. And when I say this, it's not that I think that the drawings are not good. It's just now that we have a really good kind of beginning and start to the illustration, I need it to be, there's some things that I need to change just based on the fact that it needs to be, it needs to be a playing card, and we have to think about it being a playing card. First of all, I'm going to make it bigger. And some of the things that I'm talking about are like with this, the way that this is kind of composed now, you've got a lot of empty, unused space that on playing cards, negative space is not necessarily bad, but with playing cards, they're so small already. I mean, it's only 2.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall. They're already really small. And you throw onto that, making the figure small, then it just makes it really small. So, like if we look at this, like these areas are our main character. And in the grand scheme of things, if I make this print size, and I know it's small on your screen, but this is print size, that makes the main character super small. And so we're losing a lot of valuable real estate. And so what I want to do is I want to just kind of alter it a little bit to the way I want it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scale it up. I'm going to scale him up to where his top of his head basically meets the top of the title safe area, and then his feet at the bottom. Just move him over a little bit. It's like already he's already taking up a lot more space, which is going to end up making it better, because now his head is much bigger on the card, and that means that ring is going to be bigger because those are going to be already really small. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to duplicate this. This is the original, just so we have a before and after. So I'm going to take out this stuff, these books in the back. Get these books right here and just kind of change their angle. And let's put some books in the background. And I know that when he drew this, he drew this drawing. This is supposed to be Frodo, but how he's with like all the books and stuff. This could also easily be Bilbo as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I just put in here some indexes just so we have something over there. They got like a round window seal. Now, something else I want to do is I want to pull his hand out a little bit, so that his hand is not. And Greg did exactly what I asked him to do. I said, hey, make it to where he's looking through the ring. But now that I see it, I think that it would be better is if we pull the ring out like this. That way the ring doesn't have anything behind it. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. Now the whole space is, jam-packed with stuff. All right, let's take that. All right, there's the first one. Here's the second one. And this one's pretty good. The only thing that I would do about this is I'd lose one of these books at the bottom. Just to make it bigger. Just to be able to scale it up a little bit. And then put like something in the background. Like that round window seal again. Here's the next one. This one's okay. I don't think this is the right direction. It's just like, okay. It doesn't really tell much story as much as something like this or like this could. And this was one of my favorites. But now looking at it, I think the first one is my favorite now. So let's do the same thing. Let's bring this up. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I really like this one. Yep. I like this. So I'm just going to save an image of this. Where's our folder together? Let's see. Fort Jackson. I think it's called Fort Jackson. All right, I'm going to shoot Greg a little bit of just a quick email. It says, Greg, I did a quick markup of the sketches you sent. I enlarged Frodo like we talked about. These are going to be awesome. You will see, I'll just say this, some of the changes I made. Scaled Frodo up, pulled his hand away from his head so the ring would have nothing behind it. I think this will help pull it off the background. Once we have the ring in foil. I put a Hobbit window in the background. Placed a PSD file in our Dropbox folder and also made a new Lord of the Rings folder. When making these thanks, bro. Great work. Jackson. Frodo Baggins. All right. Let's attach. Thanks, bro. Okay, sent that off. I'm very, very pleased with this. For sure. Okay. Now. Let's go ahead and close this up. Now, let me open something up here. We're going to work on something different this morning. Because it's Friday, right? And we're going to do some stuff different. Come on, brain. Jigsaw puzzle. Legal tender. Let me just make sure I got front. I should open up this jigsaw puzzle, legal tender jigsaw puzzle, so I got it. All right. So there's the die line. Okay, I'm going to take all of this and delete. All right. So what I'm going to work on today is I'm going to work on a new jigsaw puzzle. My plan is to do a Robin Hood jigsaw puzzle and a Arthurian jigsaw puzzle. And this may be pretty, I don't know. This may be monotonous, what I'm about to do. But it's part of, I need to work on it. And I'm the only one that can do it. And I just want you to guys, I think it's interesting for you guys to see just another thing that I work on. You know, just because this is my process. And I kind of, the whole thing about Dawn's Early Light is I wanted you guys to be a part of the creative process, and this is part of it. So what I have to do is, let's find the Robin Hood Where did I even save those? I don't even remember. Let's see. Oh, those are going to be in the King's Wild shorts. I have so many files. My goodness gracious. I don't think that I'm disorganized with files. I just have so many. And I kind of changed how I was just getting so many decks of cards doing the there it is. I was getting so many decks of cards, so many folders doing the, here we go. I want might be this one. Let me see if this is the right one. I have two Robin Hood folders because during the creation of Robin Hood, I had an epic hard drive failure. And I had to save everything. This may be it right here. Okay, let's do King of Spades. Let's say, okay, so what I'm going to do now is, what I want to do is find the deliverable. Here it is. I bet it's this one. Yes, this is the file that I want. This is all of the cards condensed, organized. This is the one that I want. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is, what I'm doing is, I'm taking all the cards and I'm putting them in the jigsaw puzzle. And then we have to go and create the opaque white layer underneath all the cards so that the foil shows through. So it's basically like me making a huge image. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to find a nice background, because the puzzles, the way that my jigsaw puzzles are going to be, they're all going to be kind of similar, where on one side you have all of the cards from the deck, spread out, kind of like the legal tender one was. And then on the back, you're going to have the diptych joker, because it's a two-sided puzzle. So I want to find a cool texture to put the Robin Hood ones on. And I'm either thinking like a wood table, similar to the legal tender one, or like a forest floor with like leaves. So let's say forest floor. Like something like this. Something like this might be the right thing. This one's not, but that's a good a good direction. This is kind of what I'm thinking. Because the thing about this is it's going to have like, because you have all these different elements, it already makes for a good jigsaw puzzle because you have all these different things that you can use as like markers to help you do the puzzle. So I just want to find one that possibly works. It may not work in the end. That's pretty good. I don't want that grass in there. I'd rather it just be leaves. Like this one's good with all the autumn leaves. This one's nice. The only problem that I might can see with this is that it might look awkward that you have all these really perfectly flat cards on top of these leaves. But it would make for a really good puzzle. Oh, I like that one with the pine cone. Maybe I could add pine cones in there. This one's cool. I wish it was a little bit bigger, like in terms of scale. I love those oak leaves. Oak leaves are my favorite, and I love seeing those acorns. Like this one's a little better. These are really good. Oh, this may be the ticket right here. Oh, I love that one. I like that it has acorns and stuff. We'll just go with this one for right now. It would be a ton of work. I don't want to buy credits. Oh, I've already downloaded too many for this month. Dang it. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to buy some credits. I'll just buy this one. I don't need you guys to see my payment info here. Okay. All right, let's go jigsaw puzzle. Let's make a new folder. Robin Hood. Forest. Floor. Background. Okay. What does it say here? What are you guys asking? How much? Let's see. Yeah, that made in the USA thing cleaned me out of credits. I usually get I have a subscription, but it only gets me because let me tell you something. Stock images are expensive. Now that they've come down in price a lot than what they used to be, but they are so expensive. And I think I get like, I don't know, like 25 pictures a month or something like that. All right, let's find that image. Jigsaw puzzle. Oh. Put this in the wrong place. All right, let me get this cropped out just so it is visually nice and clean and organized. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, got the background. Now, basically, it's just me going through and getting every card. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create a basic shape that is my playing card shape. So we'll go right about there. Okay, got that. All right, I want these to be actual playing card size. So I need to scale this master file to the right size. Let me see, that means that this needs to be, okay, that means this one needs to be at 300 dpi. So that should give me, make this, so that's playing card size right there, actual playing card size there. So I'm going to take this, copy, paste. Okay, so that's playing card size. Now I'm going to make a layer underneath that represents the gold foil. This is going to be a really beautiful jigsaw puzzle because all this stuff that's going to be gold foil showing through is going to look awesome. So what I want to do is, basically, I want to position this stuff. We'll see how it goes on this background. I feel like I need to make the background a little bit smaller in scale, like right about there. Let me do this again. Just so that the acorns are more the correct size relative to the playing card. also means I'm going to have to kind of paint out the background to make them kind of seamless. But a lot of this is going to be covered by playing cards. So I don't have to necessarily spend too much time on this part, because I can wait till I'm done and know what exactly I need to take out. So I'm just going to rough it in right now, just to take out that hard edge. Okay. That's good for right now. So I'm going to put that in a folder called background. Okay. So, and I've got my gold foil layer underneath. So what I have to do, the thing that I found about this, and I can show you. Let me save this. Save as. Robin Hood Jigsaw front. What I found out about these jigsaw puzzles that took me forever was each card, to give it that feeling of the foil showing through. I basically had to go into every card, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So like for the foil on this Ace of Spades, I had to go through and make an opaque white layer for each one of those. And that's kind of what you see here. But that opaque white layer couldn't, I had to then cut out, I had to crop out the card on top of the other card that's below, because it has specific opaque and non-opaque layers. I don't know if that makes sense, but because all the cards are on top of each other, everything that's kind of white is the opaque white layer. And then everything that's kind of the purple is the foil. And so it had to be one image. And so I had to go through and edit it. And like there's even some spots where I messed up. Like right here, where you can see where the foil is coming through two cards. That's what I'm talking about. That's where it's messed up. And like right here, where this foil gets cut off, So I had to go through every card, and it just took forever. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyways. So what I have to do now is I have to make a mask for every card. So what I'm going to do is take this, because I have to mask out that background. So I'm going to go in here, and each time I put a card in, I have to make a mask. I have to mask out the background. And then once I mask out the background, I then have to make sure that it's correct in terms of the cards that are on top of each other. So there, you can see that I've masked out that background so that I'm letting the foil shine through. Shine is a horrible word to say, but I'm letting the foil show through. And then I have to create a file, or not a file, but an image on top of the background that is the opaque white layer. So, like, this is the opaque white layer for that king or that ace of spades card. So I'm going to put these in a folder, and I remember it being just a pain. So we're going to label each one back design. Excuse me. And what I try to do is I try to put every card on there, so it's like every card is represented. So I've done the back, and then the most important two are the ace of spades and the joker. So I try to put them kind of, front and center. It is very tedious, but I think that's one of the reasons why I don't see. It's not that other people don't want to do the work, but I think that's one of the reasons why I don't see jigsaw puzzles like this, because it is super tedious. All right, so I've got that one in place. Feels pretty good right there. Now what I have to do now is take these go in here, mask out this stuff. What I'm learning is the jigsaw puzzle niche market is absolutely huge. So I want to mask out the background. Okay, got the background masked out. So I'm showing the foil through. Now I've got my, now I need to create my opaque white layer. So I need to dump this one. Make a new layer, fill it with white. So now I've got my opaque white layer. And then I've got the foil showing through, so that's all correct. So now I got the card on top, and I can do this. Joker. And I'm going to call this opaque white layer. So back design, opaque, white layer. I don't know, Katie. I'm not sure. I'm definitely going to be using those index cards with all the trees. And I don't know how I'm going to do I don't know. I don't know yet. I think I'm going to wait to see a few of the kind of final sketches that Greg does. And then I'll probably do a card full out. But my plan with the Lord of the Rings is to do two versions. Do a version that's just the engraving style drawing, where it's just the etching style drawing, where it's just a line work and background color. And then I want to do one, the same drawing, but with full color. So maybe best of both worlds. So we'll see. All right, so I got the back design of the Joker. And then what I'm going to do also is I'm going to establish a drop shadow. Just to help knock it off the background. I need to do the drop shadow a little bit differently. Let's call this drop shadow and outline. Good. Let's add a stroke to it. Let's go inside, make it black. Just a really, really small stroke. And put that layer on multiply. Okay, let's make it like a dark brown. I'm sorry if this is super boring, but I really want to do this and get this done, because I really want to have this puzzle and maybe the Arthurian for Christmas. All right. All right, I got those. All right, so let's go back to our, save that. Now I'm basically going to make, I'm going to make the ones that I've done a different color. I'm going to make them purple, so I know I've done them, and also to make sure that I get all the cards in there. All right, let's get all of the spades. Actually, let's do all the court cards and ace of spades first. So this. Let's pull those over. Okay. Good, let's make those purple. Now let's get all of the heart court cards. Dang it. I screwed up. I need to do this. I need to get rid of the outer boundaries. And I want to do the court cards first. That way the court cards get the most prominent, to make sure that all the court cards are kind of visible on the puzzle. Because I want people to see my art, and court cards are more interesting than index cards. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to arrange these. Just arrange these throughout the image. Just kind of like how I see fit. Put Robin Hood and Maid Marian kind of close to each other. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. I'm just trying to do it to where, you have a good, you have the cards spread out nice. I need to move one over here. Kind of light on this side a little bit. All right, that feels pretty good. Ace, 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 ace. King, king. All right. Now I just have to systematically go through here and do every card. All right, so I'm going to make these invisible so I know I've done those. Let's start up here in the top left corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one thing at a time and do it in batches. That way it'll just go a little bit quicker. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a batch of all of the cards themselves. And I'm going to make a block out of each. And we're going to make the block out. Let's make it purple just so I can tell the difference and so it's not white. So there's that block out. So I'm going to group those. King of diamonds. So how about you guys ask me questions while I'm doing this, because I know that this is probably not that exciting. And it's going to help me. It's going to help me get through it. If maybe I have a nice little conversation with you guys. So ask me a question. Little Q&A time. Price point of these puzzles is probably going to be around $40, $45. They come in a really nice box. There's a cotton bag. They're two-sided. And I think that we're going to try and do like some special editions where like we make 100 special editions that have the deck inside as well. So you get the puzzle and the deck of cards that goes with the puzzle. But I think we're only going to try to we'll probably end up having only 100 of those. I'm also trying to develop a process of making these because it is so tedious. Yes, I can determine how many puzzle pieces I want. And all of these puzzles will be 1,000 pieces. I did the legal tender one. I'm not an avid puzzle maker only because I have kids, little kids, and it makes it basically impossible to do puzzles. But it took me probably 5 days to do the legal tender one. So it was pretty. I mean, it was pretty difficult, I think. What snacks do I pack for road trips? Uh, Beef jerky for sure. Black pepper flavored sunflower seeds. A good energy drink or two. When I wasn't as worried about my health, I would pack bugles, puppy chow, which is just like the sugar, powdered sugar coating, like rice checks with peanut butter and chocolate. Delicious. I will be doing a puzzle for. I will definitely be doing a puzzle for Oz. I don't know if I'll be doing a puzzle for the meat deck. I just don't know about that. We'll see. I may. Who knows? I will absolutely be doing an Alice in Wonderland jigsaw puzzle. We wanted to do that for Christmas, but I just don't think that I'm going to be finished with the core cards in time to do a jigsaw puzzle. But you know what? If I'm not finished with the cards for a Christmas jigsaw puzzle, then I probably won't be finished with it in time for the playing card deck itself. So we could, I guess. I just wanted to get some in production. That would probably be that's probably what the puzzle would be if it was the meat deck, the back one, because I don't really have diptych jokers. It would probably just be the meat, just solid meat, and like the word "the cut" in the middle. That sounds pretty awesome. Maduro puzzle would be good. Yep. But I don't have a diptych joker for that one. That doesn't mean I couldn't do it. You know, I could do... Yeah. I just have to figure out what I want to do for the joker. I mean, for the backside. Yeah, I would like that. The Continental and the Lady Independence with the Swords of Freedom. Yeah, that'd be a good joker. I like this song. Okay. I think that's it. Yep, they're all done. Now what I want to do is go back to my thing here, and I want to start pulling over all of the index cards. Okay, there's the spades. Hearts. Diamonds. And clubs. Would I consider doing a reprint of the Nutcracker deck? Yeah, I might consider that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do the same thing I did before. Just let me turn on all these cards so I can see how everything looks together. I need to put my layers over here. I don't know. Well, I have my layers over here because I'm left-handed. But I also have this stupid microphone on the left side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take all of these cards. And put them on the bottom. You know, Chris, if you ever came by and helped do some work, you could probably catch up on those thread decks and it not be as pricey. I'm just saying, my friend. I need to do this in an order, so I need to do all the 10s first. Now I'll do all the 9s. What I need to do is take all of these and move them right here so I can see them. And take all the diamonds minus the 10. Move them right there so I can see them. Take all the hearts. And move them over here so I can see them. So I'm playing solitaire on the computer. Alright. So I'm going to do all the 9s. So there we go. Now do the 8s. We also just ordered the thread decks for the airplane, the paper airplane deck, and also the pirate deck, the pirate shirt. And it's interesting now. Now I've done one of these puzzles and actually put it together. I know like little things that I'm doing differently in terms of like putting it together. Just to make the puzzle easier. Like I want to make sure that I kind of show an index number on each card. That way you can kind of use them as like a compass and bearings when you're putting the puzzle together. When do I think the Kingswald compound will be complete? Probably the end of the year. If everything goes okay with it. Like financing and all that kind of stuff. We're still working through financing right now. Alright, so that's all the cards. Now what I do from here is I intersperse a bunch of back designs. And I'll go back through. Oh crap. I'll go back through and make sure these are on the back. Probably should do that now anyways. This looks tedious. We haven't even begun to be tedious on this stuff. Yeah, what is that part in Tombstone? I have not yet begun to defile myself. It's looking really good, though. It's going to be a nice puzzle. Okay, now I gotta go through and make all of the blockouts for everything. It's gonna be a pain in the rear end here. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is go back just to keep my sanity. I need to make that'll kind of give us a frame to what the puzzle's going to look like. I'm still not sold on the background. I need to make it a lot darker here. Okay. Now, what I need to do is go back and turn off all of my court cards that I've already done the knockouts for. So I can just keep track of what I've done and what I haven't done. I'm trying to think about if there's a way I can make an action where, because I need to create the drop shadow and the stroke layer for each one of the cards. I should be able to do that as an action, as long as, yeah. So I can create the drop, I can create the knockout layer, and I can create the drop shadow layer all in one with using an action. So let's open up our action window. Here it is right here. All right. We want to create a new action. We'll call this puzzle layer, puzzle drop shadow and knockout. Okay. So let's see here. So I need to make sure I select the layer first. Let's do it this Ace of Clubs. I've already done the Ace of Clubs. Let's do it this 10 of Hearts. So I select the layer. Okay, so let's start recording. Take the magic wand. Well, I'm going to have to already have selected. So I'm going to select magic wand. Now I can record. So we want to Control-Shift-I to inverse the selection. We want to make a new layer. Fill. And that gets our knockout. Make a new layer. Fill with white. And then I want to skip this song. I want to go layer style, drop shadow, okay, and add stroke. And then hit OK. And then I want to turn that layer to multiply. And that should be it. So let's see if it works. Just check. Okay, we got our stroke, we got our drop shadow, and we have our we also have our pink or purple knockout, which I want to put that on top. Now let's test that to see if it worked. So let's go to the 7 of diamonds. Now I need to make sure I manually magic wand. Now let's hit the action. looks like it worked. So we've got the drop shadow and stroke right there. We've got the opaque white layer, and we have the 7 of diamonds on the bottom. Did it on the wrong. It made the stroke purple and not white. Of course, I'm up for zooming with kids. But just be warned, I'm going to tell them that college is worthless. If I Zoom with kids in school, I make sure to tell them that college is worthless if they want to be a designer or artist. Just warning you. All right, so something happened in our script that we need to redo because it's making all right, let's try it again. Let's re-record it. Okay. Let me try this again. So I'm going to make a new. Okay, I've selected. I want to inverse the selection, make a new layer, fill it with white, I want to apply a layer effect and a stroke. Multiply, new layer, fill with purple, deselect. All right, let's see if that worked. I got the knockout, I got the stroke. All right. Let's see if it works. Let's go to a different card. All right, we magic wand. I'm sorry if this is not very exciting. Whatever. I'm sorry. Let's go again. All right, ready? Got my action script ready to go. Push play. All right, let's see if it worked. I got our, yes, it looks like it worked correctly. I've got the knockout. I've got the drop shadow and stroke, which is on multiply. And then I've got the card underneath. So now I can take these, group 4 of diamonds, and that's going to make this process much, much faster. So now I can take one card at a time, 7 of clubs, select on the outside of it, And then I'm going to hit the action script. Boom. Done. Now I'm going to select these group 7 of clubs. So now it's just a matter of me going through all of these cards until they're all purple. Shoot another question at me. Please. This is working out really nice, actually. This is greatly speeding up the process. Should give it a quick save before it crashes on me. I don't see why you can't come next week. Should be good. How many layers do I create on a single card? It really depends on the card and the detail. But what was I working on? You know, a single card probably has 300-400 layers, I'm guessing. But like my master playing card files where I have everything on it, which is not very smart. Like the meat deck, I think the meat deck was one that I was like working on everything in one full file. It was ridiculous. It had like 2,300 layers. It was not good. Yeah, 300 or 400 for like a single card. If I'm just working on one card, 300 or 400 easy. Like that's a Tuesday. That's also because I'm very excessive on the layers, just because I just have learned in the past that I basically do every action on a different layer just to protect myself from, like if I screw up or something like that, I always want to be able to have an out to go back. And that's why I just have tons of layers. Did my protege, as in June? Yeah, June is gonna. I talked to her last week, and she's gonna be. I mean, I'd offer a full-time salary, full-time job right now, but it's just a little bit too early. She needs to be around a little bit longer and pay her dues a little bit. You know, I mean, I'm not really about that, but she needs to be around for 3 or 4 months before I offer a full-time job. But she really likes it. Yes, she has turned in her deck ideas for her own design. Looks pretty sweet. It's very girly. That's okay. That's what I wanted. It's gonna look really nice. What type of system are you using? Mac, PC, and your monitor? That thing is crazy. I am a PC user. I used to be a Mac user, and then you were talking about economic cost return. I used to be a Mac user, and then I stopped being an idiot and wasting tons and thousands of dollars on a Mac brand when I could buy, I could buy a 3 times as stronger, faster computer for half the price. But with that said, hypocritically, I still own a Mac laptop because the cost of a Mac laptop and a PC laptop are about the same, and I like the Mac laptops better. I use a PC. Let's see what we got here. I could probably just show you my system. How do you do that? System information. I use Microsoft. Let's see. I have about 150 gigs of memory. Let's see. I have a GeForce. What is it? A GeForce R something video card. I got bukus of hard drive space because I have tons of files and they're all really big. Let's see. So I've got my solid state drive that I have all my programs and scratch disk on. It's like 500 gigs. And then I've got 1, 2. Well, this Charlie is my Charlie is my solid state drive and also my scratch disk, and it always fills up, almost fills up every time because when I'm working. But I probably have 200 gigs free when I'm not working. And then I've got two other, I got this solid state drive that's 500 gigs, and then this one that's about a terabyte. And then I've got these bigger storage drives that are both 10 terabytes a piece. And that's more. It's more like, I really don't even use these much. This is like for like long-term storage. And then there's my phone. And I don't even have an Apple phone. Screw iPhones. I use a Google Pixel. I'm a Google man. I'm letting Google know all my secrets. And then my monitor is a Wacom. My monitor is a Wacom Cintiq Pro 32-inch. Let's see. This is my monitor right here. This thing right here. And I've got one of these little arms, but I don't ever really move it that much. This is my monitor. I have the little remote thing, but I don't use it. Let's see. Some more pictures. Yeah, so it kind of looks like this, where you can do this with it. You can. It even has a slot in the back where they have a computer that you can put a computer in there, and it's an actual computer, but it ain't fast enough, bro. Their little Cintiq computer ain't fast enough. But anyways, that's kind of my setup. But my setup is like, my setup is important. I mean, it's the lifeblood of what I do. So I'll probably end up getting a new computer probably within the next year or so. Yeah, the pen comes with it. The pen that I use. The little stylus. The fancy word for it, the stylus. Yeah, this file's already getting slow because it's big. Let me see how big it is. It's not that big. It's only 2.5 gigs. But this is definitely making it go faster for sure. Yeah, this monitor, even though it's really expensive, I mean, my monitor costs more than my computer. This monitor is invaluable. I mean, this Cintiq monitor is the most important piece of equipment that I have. I mean, if it went out, I'd be shot for a couple of days just to buy a new one. Like the Mac laptops are, the Mac laptops are great, but, just the price. A good Mac laptop is going to be about the same price as a good, a comparable PC laptop. But the desktops, it's no question. Like a comparable Mac desktop to what I have here would be like, it'd be like $12,000. And this, my computer I'm working on now probably cost, I don't know, $3,000. But if you're, Kevin, I don't know, I'm not really sure what your background is. I know you said you were an economics professor, but, if you're trying to get better at like digital art, what you should do is you should check out Gnomon School of Visual Effects. I'll show you their website. This is their website. This is the art school, the visual art school that I used to teach at when I lived in Los Angeles. I want to say, it's funny, I want to say that they're an accredited university now, and they only got the accreditation so that people could get student loans to pay for but when I taught there, they weren't a university. They were just like a specialty school that they have like a 99.9% placement, and they are who I taught for. I taught Photoshop, and I taught digital sculpting in ZBrush, and I also taught game character development. But before I taught there, it was kind of an interesting journey. Years ago, we're talking 10, 11, 12 years ago, when I was just wanting to get in. I was in college. I was realizing that when I was realizing that college was a waste of my time and it wasn't getting me anywhere to what I wanted to do, I started buying. Yeah, that's the link above. The link right there is to their school. But you don't have to go to their school. You don't have to do that. And you can do what I did. They have a ton of tutorial videos. And when I was doing it, it was all DVD form. And so I would just, buy tons of these DVDs. And just learn. I learned everything from Gnomon online through tutorial DVDs that I bought. And the interesting thing is they may still do it. I don't know if they still have it or not. Let me see. Gnomon online. Yeah, they have Gnomon online, and so you can go and take all the class. You can take video form classes. Let's see here. Like you can take these online individual courses, which are great. I taught one of these. I've taught two of these courses when I was doing it. I taught Photoshop and I taught digital sculpting. So you can get a BFA now in digital production, or you can get a certificate That's like you have to go there. But this stuff right here, these individual courses, that's the way to go, I think. If you, unless you can't get their DVDs. Let's see. It's like I taught one of these courses when I was there. Let's see. What do they got? Like here's some of the classrooms that we had. They've changed a lot. They've grown a ton. Let me see here. Courses. So let's go online courses. Browse courses. So you've got like character sculpture. That's like that's like actual sculpting in clay. You've got drawing fundamentals, digital photography. Drawing in 3D. That's like a perspective drawing. Introduction to compositing. That's like doing color effects. Like there's character sculpture. It's like this is the class that I taught, this digital sculpting class. And that's like with ZBrush. Like level, let's see here, storyboarding. Animal drawing, that sounds fun. Character modeling and sculpting, I taught that class. This character design class, it's like this is a good one right here. Let's see what this is. So it's $700 for a 10-week class, and you get one-on-one. You get one-on-one. You get one-on-one stuff, and there's like a live class and everything. So, and that's if, that's if it's the same as it used to be. I wonder if you can find their DVDs. Gnomon online tutorial videos. And this is where I learned. Online catalog. Let's see here. But I would definitely say to check this out. They definitely have grown a lot since then, and they're a lot different now. I mean, they're a much bigger deal now. So, but I would definitely check it out. That's what I would do is if I was trying to get into it, I would just start taking those 10-week classes. Like I had this huge DVD binder that had all my tutorial videos in it. Yes, the students can ask questions. At least they could when I was teaching it, because it was a live class, kind of like a Zoom call type thing. To answer your question, Chris, I have thought about that. I have thought about teaching a class, but honestly, you're basically getting my master class watching these YouTube lives, because I wouldn't do anything different than I'm doing now. I would probably do more talking, and there would be a class and like an assignment. I could teach some introductory Photoshop classes. That would be fun. Um, if I was recommending them, I would do like the, you know, the basics principles and stuff like that, like the digital principles and stuff like that. And then I would do like the digital art, like Photoshop and stuff like that. But again, that, you know, it would just have to, um, I don't know. It may have changed a lot since I was there, so you just kind of have to look around. But I would go for like the principal classes, like the foundation classes of digital art, and then like maybe Photoshop classes. You know, and the thing, you know, this probably sounds really bad, but probably another reason why I haven't done a class, like an online class or something like that, is just because, you know, just the cost, you know, the return, the ROI on the investment, just because, you know, how much time it would take for me to have to, you know, allot for something like that. You know, if I did it 1 or 2 hours a week, you know, it's possible that it might be worth it. But I definitely will have to, I would have to charge an appropriate amount to make it worth me spending, you know, 2 or 3 hours a week doing it, which 2 or 3 hours a week may not sound like much, but I mean, I don't do much else. I don't do much else but work because I love it. And, you know, it's just kind of a cost comparison thing of like, you know, if I spent 2 or 3 hours drawing playing cards for a deck of cards, it might be worth it in terms of like if you break it down to an hourly rate, it may be worth it more for me to do that than it would be to teach a class. Because if I taught like a 10-week class, you know, taught a 10-week class or something like that, 6, 7, 8, 10 weeks, you know, and charged like $300 for the class, you know, I need to make sure I had enough students that it made it worth the time in comparison to if I was doing that same thing and designing and working on my own decks. But I mean, if that's something that you'd be interested in, or you guys might be interested in, I'm definitely willing to think about it and put some numbers to it to figure out how to make it work. And I might post something on Instagram and have a poll, like take a poll to see if people might be interested. But it would probably end up being something like that, where it's like 8-week class for like $300. I don't know. That seems about right. That's just me pulling numbers. Because I know other artists that do that, and that, you know, and it may be more than that. I don't know, because I know other artists that do that I've done those kind of classes with. You know, and they may charge like $700. Like I did like something similar with a guy years ago, and it was like $700. Yeah, it's also like a burnout thing. Well, it's not really burnout. It's just, you know, so much of my energy is put into designing. I mean, it's definitely something that I could think about, because I think I was a pretty good teacher when I taught at Noman, and I really enjoyed it. You know, and I built really good relationships with a lot of my students, and you know, a lot of my students that I had are like doing like big budget movies now, and I get to keep in touch with them, and so it's been cool. Oh, something happened. Do I have a Patreon? No, I don't have a Patreon. I do not have a Patreon. I have thought about that, though. I was thinking about doing a Patreon with my fantasy book that I'm writing, but I haven't worked out those details yet. Now I have thought about doing that where I record. I actually did record a tutorial class that I was going to put on, what is it called, Skillshare? I might do that. But I like the online thing where you get to interact with people. But that doesn't mean I can't record that. That doesn't mean I can't record that and make that into a class. Yeah, doing this is so tedious. What's my favorite monument in DC? My favorite monument in DC is probably, there are these, I want to say I think it's Ulysses S. Grant. Let me see. Statue in front of the Capitol. I got this book of all the statues in Washington. It's awesome. I want to say it's Grant on a horse. Yeah, it's this one right here. This one right here. Not that one. But that one's an awesome one, by the way. It's this one right here. That's not Grant, but it's like of the cavalry. And you just got like these horses, and then like there's this horse falling. Let's see if I can find it. But this is my favorite one, where this cavalry guy is holding up a sword. That's probably my favorite statue. No, it's okay. I want you to, because this is like, I want you to ask me questions, because this stuff is like mind-numbing. It may take me a little longer to do it, but that's okay. I'd rather ask questions and chat with you guys while I'm doing it. And I'm not doing anything like that I need skillful concentration on. Goodness. Computer started chug. I bet it's all these drop shadows that I've got that's making it chug. Usually a bunch of layer effects always chug the old memory. Almost done with this part. I'm not almost done, but I'm almost done with this step. Moving the in-laws went good. They are out. Well, we moved them out of the house into their new place. We still got a bunch of junk that we still got to get out, but for the majority, the lion's share of their stuff is gone. What I may do is go through and turn off all the drop shadows just to help it save some speed. Almost about done. Yeah, solid violet deck. Yep. I think that's it. Just group this. Hit me a little quick save, right quick. Make sure everything is in a group. Looks like I need to do these. Looks like they weren't. I must have done these before I started doing my process. Because these don't seem to have zeal drop shadows. Do I still do homesteading? Not really right now. I will be doing it. I plan on selling this house. It's not really, it's great for my business and my office, but it's not really conducive to our family in the sense that we live on this really steep hill, and we live on the steep hill. There's no place for my kids to play. It's not flat. We don't have that much area to do our homesteading stuff like chickens and stuff like that we want to do. So I'll probably end up selling this house pretty soon and finding something that's a little bit more conducive to what we want to do, like we did in Austin. And my computer is chugging. Okay. Yes, I would love to build my own house. I would love to build my own house. And then Matthew asked, Jackson, any thoughts on printing your own decks at Kingswell Project? Funny you should ask. I made a phone call yesterday to speak to an HP representative, Hewlett-Packard, because Hewlett-Packard makes a printer called the Indigo printer, and it is a super, it's like the high-end digital printer that most people that do any kind of digital printing have an Indigo printer. But with that said, even like the base model Indigo printers are insanely expensive. And when I say insanely expensive, I'm talking like, and I'm just ballparking like $700,000-$800,000, and that's for like the base models. But I had a phone call with just a preparatory rep, not an actual rep, but just someone to get my information so that an actual rep could call me back to talk to them about purchasing an Indigo printer. And I mean, it's kind of a machine that's like, first of all, it's as big as a room. It's as big as it's huge. It's like 10 feet tall. It's huge. However, my idea is, I'm trying to do more things in-house. And I thought to myself, you know, if I'm doing stuff in house, why would I not try to print? Why would I not try to print my own cards? So I started down that route of like to start doing research of what it would take for me to buy a nice enough printer that would, rival the print quality of like United States Playing Card Company or anybody else that I, would print with. And interestingly enough, the resolution of the Indigo printer is higher resolution than you would get with an offset printing press like at United States Playing Card Company, which is like 300 DPI, but these Indigo printers can print like an Indigo printer can print 851 DPI, which would be good for my detail stuff. And it can do all sorts of, I can do spot colors like United States Playing Card Company would do. I can do up to 6 inks. So I could do like CMYK plus metallic inks and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that I just started looking into. But then again, like the printer, like if the printer cost $1 million, and I'm not like saying that to exaggerate, but like the printer would probably cost $1 million. Like the printer that I would buy would end up like costing more than like the building that the printer's in. But it's kind of one of those costs, maybe Kevin, you're an economics professor. Maybe you could help me with the cost return benefits analysis. Because I mean, I probably print 10 to 15,000 decks of cards a month, and I only want to print more because I want to keep growing. So, if I'm printing 20, 30,000 sheets a month, and a sheet being like a whole uncut sheet or something, yes, it may be expensive to buy the machine, but for as much money as I spend on production, I mean, the majority of our revenue that we make goes right back out the door for production, no doubt. No doubt about it. I mean, more than 50% of our revenue goes back out the door for, easy, just for production. So, even if I were to spend like $1 million on a machine, I could spend, I could spend more than $1 million in a year just on production. And if I had a machine that I owned that printed it, it would probably cut the cost of the actual printing of the cards by half or more, maybe. I don't know. And so, it might be lower. And I would buy paper and ink in bulk too, because I'd be going through it. I have to buy paper in bulk now anyways. Yeah, you have to refill ink cartridges on everything. Like even the printers that United States Playing Card Companies use, you got to refill ink. But like, so a good example is like, say I spend $20,000 on, say, 5,000 decks of cards or whatever. If I could cut my production cost in half just by printing them in house, that's saving. And I'm just pulling this out, but like, That would be me saving $10,000 on every production run, you know? And if I'm doing 24 to 30 different production runs in a 12-month period, I mean, that adds up quick. I mean, it may take me 3 or 4 years, even 5 years to pay off a machine, but, it's going to take me that long to pay off my building, if not longer. And the building does give me space, but the building doesn't really give me, the building doesn't give me a profit. It doesn't give me a return. But a machine, like a printer, would definitely give me a return. So if it took me 5 years to pay it off, once I pay it off, then I'm like saving a ton of money. Yeah, there would definitely be, I mean, I would probably have to finance it, most likely. Because we're still so young that we don't just have gobs and gobs of extra capital that we can use to like buy we don't have that much. Definitely don't have that much capital. So it would definitely be something that would be financed. And so that would have to work into the deal of like if it's worth it or not. My new building would absolutely be big enough for, and I designed it, and I designed it such so that I could have big machinery at one point, at a point in the future. We'll have the right kind of power, we'll have the right kind of space. And yes, I would start printing for other companies as well. I mean, that would be a very important part to the plan if I did something like that, to be able to supplement, because I'm not going to be printing on it 24/7. And if it wasn't running, I would be losing opportunity to make more money and pay it off faster. And the ultimate goal would be to pay it off as fast as I could. And then I could cut down on the amount of stuff I'm printing for other people, but that doesn't mean that I can't develop a business to print for other people. Looks like I got them. I just have a few more that seem to not be, that I didn't get the drop shadow on. Gotta get these drop shadows turned off. I'm totally down, Kevin. I can use all the help I can get. Looks like all of them. Let me see if I'm missing any over here. all these down here? I mean, I feel like it would be worth it. I mean, even just like thinking about it like this, like, oh man, I mean, like, if for every deck, if I just make it easy round numbers, if I'm saving $10,000 each deck run, and I print like 24 decks a year, that's 240,000. That times 5 years to pay off like a $1.2 million machine. That's gonna last me 20, maybe 15 years. Because after that, if I'm saving $10,000 times every print run, if I have another useful life of, say, 10 years, that's $2.4 million that I've saved. And by the time that useful life is over, I have saved enough cash to buy an even better machine than the first one. Just send me an email to jackson@kingswildproject.com. Yeah, I definitely want to grow it because I definitely don't have a plan B. That's for sure. Okay, let me see here. All right, I'm going to go through here and turn off all of these layer effects. Yeah. Yeah, the only drawback is I wouldn't be able to do things, at least at this point. I wouldn't be able to do things like the foiling and stuff like that just because I don't have those machines. But it's just another step to getting to someplace like that. So I just really want to make sure that, they're such expensive machines and there's so many costs that are above and beyond just buying the machine. Like, with those kind of machines, you got to spend like you have to pay for like a monthly servicing fee, which could be expensive. It could be like $2,000 a month. I don't know. It could be a lot. You got to buy the ink. You got to buy all kinds of stuff. The expensive part, just like with any big machine, is, and it's honestly, if I finance it, they make a lot of money on the financing for sure, but they also make a lot of money on the service plans as well. Just like with anything, you spend a lot of money for the ability to call them anytime and for them to come fix your machine. So there's those costs, and I won't know those costs until I talk with the rep and really figure out those costs. I hope this is why my computer's slow, is all these effects. What time is it? 7:45? Okay. So keep an eye on my time here. This is super annoying, and but even if I had to do like, even if I had to spend like $5,000 a month on like maintenance and ink, I'd still be making $5,000 a month because it's ultimately saving me $10,000 a month. And that's just printing my own cards. Yep. This is so annoying because I feel like it's speeding up now. Yeah, it's getting faster. Its lag is not near as much. Once I do all this with all these layers and it not speed up any. Totally. 50% off on Labor Day. Totally. Let me just roll in the DMs and get me 50% off on Labor Day. Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, you can buy used ones, but I've never been. I don't know. I know you can buy used ones, but for some reason, I guess it's just me. I've never been, like, the only thing that I buy used are my cars. For some reason, I just have never been big on buying used machines. I don't know. I know I could save a lot of money, but oh yeah, it's much faster. I can already feel it. Oh yeah, way faster. Great. Okay, I got all those drop shadows turned off. What time is it? 7:50. I can do a few more things before I go today. What I need to do now is create one big image of all these purple cards so that I can knock them out of the background. So I'm just gonna go down one at a time and select them. Oh, I almost screwed up. All right, I think that's it. I see one or two that are missing, but I can go back and find those. So I'm going to make a new layer on top. That's going to be like my global knockout file, knockout layer. Make it like a teal green. All right, so I've missed this one. This one. What's up, Jacob? So I got my top layer, and I got all my purple layers, which are the knockouts of the single cards. And so what I'm trying to think about, I'm going to select all these green ones, the global knockout. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to come all the way to the bottom. See, Jacob, he's kind of a math whiz and business economics whiz. He's been doing a lot of cost analysis for me. We started talking about the printer thing just a few days ago. Okay, where is my background stuff? Where is that mask layer? Where'd it go? There it is. Why is all this other stuff in the background layer? I do not know why. Bush League Robinson. Bush League. Let me take all this junk and get it out of the background layer. Folder. Silly boy. Silly, silly boy. I need to take all that stuff out. Put you right there. I can go to this layer here and fill. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go through and make the purple layers invisible, because now we have to go through each card and knock out what parts are foil and what parts are not foil. Which this is the beginning of the very tedious part of this process. And the good thing is like with like decks like Alice in Wonderland that don't have foil, I don't have to do this. And I'll be able to like put it together like in 30 minutes and send it in. But I think part of the wow factor for some of these puzzles is going to be the foil. But my computer is definitely sped up since I got rid of, or I made the drop shadow layers invisible. Got to give a shout out to my crew. They've been doing a heck of a job this week. They've gotten us way far ahead in terms of production, making decks, shipping out decks. I think we sent out like probably 2,000 decks yesterday. And then they're way ahead of production on a lot of our kind of like, not necessarily our backlogged production stuff. So much so that they got to go home early yesterday. Because they're so far ahead. All right. So basically, the way this works is I have to start at the corner and I just have to go each card. And I usually start with like all the cards that are fully exposed, like all the court cards and stuff. And I'll just work from the top and go down and knock out from behind them. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till my next live to do that. I want to do one thing first, though. I want to just put in a different background here. Just because I don't know if I like that. Wood. The only thing is I used a wood background for legal tender. Let's do like a stone. Like a stone. Like a slate. I think slate would look good with that. The beiges. The warm beiges of the cards. Yes, yes, I know. I know I don't have any. Okay. Slate back. For some reason I feel like this is going to be better. Well, where to go? That's pretty cool. I like that. Nice little contrast with the background. This is the first best wood block there is right here. The one I got from the DEO crew for the 100th show. Okay. Okay, so now I've got all the cards knocked out from the background. And I can change the background later. That's the easy part. So I'm going to save the rest of what I'm have to do till next time. So I'm going to save this because I'm hungry and I got to have another meeting at 9 o'clock that I got to be a Zoom call meeting. Yeah, so that's it. This is looking really good. I like this puzzle. It's going to be great. And the cool thing is once we get done with the puzzle, I'll be able to make the Robin Hood book box for the puzzle, which is going to be fun too. It's going to look a lot like the Tuck case did. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I will see you guys. What is today? Friday? Yeah. So I'll see you. I'm probably going to do a live this weekend just because I want to. But if not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Take it easy.